My name is Ian and welcome to Planted. In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 practices that I come back to time and time again. I've been using these 3 practices for many years. And the reason I do that is because they work. Now on YouTube, there's lots of tricks and tips on gardening, but these 3, I think anybody can use throughout the year to have more success with plants. So the first is, whenever you buy a plant, it's very important that you hydrate it properly. So waterproof tray, add some water. Now all you need is an inch or half an inch. And all of this can be scaled. If you've got one little plant, you could use a tray like this. But what you want to do is set the plant in that tray and have it just gradually absorb water. I like to add a little bit of soluble feed. Doesn't need much. And what you're doing is you're very gently giving that plant the hydration it needs rather than excessive amounts of water. This is a pot of cuttings that I recently took. They were stuck back in mid-December, and if I just stand the pot in there, it's this deep, I can't possibly overwater it. Capillary action will suck up water into the growing mix, and the growing mix has got time to take that water in and have it absorb into all the cells of the growing medium. Now you might say, what's the big deal? There's nothing clever about that. But you don't waste water. One of the reasons plants fail is that people come with a watering can or a hose, and they put a gallon of water or 2 gallons of water over their plant, thinking that they've given it a good drink. That water has ran through the pot, out the sides, and is gone. The plant hasn't had time to take it in. It hasn't had time to absorb that water. If you were really thirsty and somebody opened up a fire hydrant and pointed it at you, you might get a few gulps of water, but that's about it. Even though a huge amount of water has been aimed at you, you can't take it in. This is the way to make sure that the water you give the plant is absorbed into that rooting zone. Very effective, very easy, and because I added a little bit of soluble feed to it, I'm also giving it a mild dose of food. So it's hydrated properly, and it's also got some food in there. And now you can leave the plant in there for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever you want, it doesn't matter. But this trick is really important. If ever you get given a plant, do this, rehydrate the root ball. If ever you buy a plant from a garden center or nursery, before you plant it, do this, rehydrate the root ball. And so many of your plants can then go into their new growing environment properly hydrated, put out new roots, and you'll be done. So this is easy. I do this all the time. Next is repotting. This is a little plant called Lotus jacobaeus. Hopefully you'll stay with the channel and follow along. I'm going to use this in a planting later this year, and I want to put this into a bigger pot. Now you might think, well, there's nothing wrong with the size of pot that is, but I've kept this on the dry side, and as we start to move into spring, this plant's going to put on some growth. And what you can see is that every time I handle this root ball, it loses a little bit of its structure. Got to be gentle with root balls. This is the plant that I want to put it into, the plant pot I want to put it into, and the secret is just watch the speed with which I do this. A little bit in the bottom. This is the pot that it came from, and you can set that at the correct height so it's not going to be proud, and you've got this little gap all the way around the edge. Now by using the pot that the plant came from, I'm able to center my old pot inside my new pot. And if the potting medium is slightly firmed, I can then gently twist this, and there is my planting pit. I can pick up my plant very carefully, drop it inside. Done. How about that for easy planting? The root ball does not get disturbed, and it's at the right height. And now I can put that in there for it to have a little bit of rehydration with a little bit of fertilizer in there. So that's 2 of the 3. We've got rehydrating, we've got potting a plant on. And the next thing is freezer bags. What on earth is so special about freezer bags? Don't underestimate a freezer bag. Of course, you know these come in lots of different sizes. Choose a size that you want. But these cuttings that I took that were in my propagator, what I do is cut off the corners. They'll never be good as a freezer bag again. But the benefit is that you've got this resealable collar. We all know about that. And when you take cuttings, you can put your bag over the top. Obviously get the size bag that meets the size of the pot that you are making your cuttings from. And down here you can see you've got this ability to make it taller and shorter. So depending on the height of your cuttings, and then you can just crimp the sides. Open this up, crimp the sides, and you could put that on a windowsill, you could put that in a propagator, you could put that by a radiator. And these little holes here allow just a small amount of air circulation, but it also keeps the cuttings inside humid, and it also keeps them warm. If you put these on a radiator, they have heat coming up from the bottom. The heat will pass through the plant, and that heat will be trapped inside. And if you've had failure with cuttings before, or failure with seeds before, try and do this method. Just get a freezer bag, cut the corners off it, and then it'll increase the quantity of humidity and also increase the heat. So there we go. There's our 3 tips. Just to recap, whenever you buy a plant, set it in water for 10-15 minutes and let it absorb water. This goes against capillary action. If you have to repot a plant, use the plant pot that it was in as a template, and then pre-pack your growing medium in between that gap using the pot as a plug. Take the pot out, put the plant in, and then finally using freezer bags to increase humidity on seeds and cuttings. So that's it. Those are my 3 tips, and I keep coming back to those week in, week out, decade after decade. I've been doing it for many, many years. Hope you like them. Thank you so much. Happy gardening. Bye for now.